Satan using distractions to keep you from getting deep in life. And the cell phone is the ultimate distraction.
Instead of being present and being grateful and just enjoying that connection, that intimacy, that time with your person, you're too busy looking at what everybody else is doing.
I'm not going to go into my grave wishing I would have held more open houses or whatever, but I can promise you, if I don't spend time with my kids and make more memories, I will go into my grave regretting that.
And growth doesn't just mean me growing. It means me continuing to grow, my kids continuing to grow, my friends continuing to grow, impacting, making a difference, doing anything that I can do to make a difference in somebody else's life out there that maybe I don't even know.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you so much for being here. This is Burn the Ships, just two honest guys having some real conversations about God, family, and life. Joined, as always, with my brother, Garrett Townsend. Dude, how are you?
I'm good, brother. So we were talking the other day in the truck, and I was driving, you were driving. We were getting caught up because we haven't done this in a minute, and it just dawned on us. We were talking about what do we want to do the next episode on, and it was like, let's shelve this conversation that we're having right now, catching up about life, whatnot, and let's just have that, and let's just have a conversation about real talk.
Right.
Just you
That's
and
what
me.
this was supposed to be.
Exactly. Like you and me just catching up.
No agenda, just two guys
no real topic
about
today.
real life.
Yeah, I mean, like we were talking about it earlier. I was like, well, just to keep us on some sort of a path. So, you and I, we could sit there and bounce back and forth in 20 different ways. But I was like, let's do the Ford method. Like when I'm meeting somebody for the first time and I want to go really deep and have a really intentional conversation, I use the Ford method. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. And since we haven't really chatted a lot lately, except for just small chit chat, but we haven't had like a real friend conversation like we're used to having.
It's the 4th of July, and it's now August.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And this is a guy that I see once to twice a week and talk on the phone literally every day. To go a month
without a real intentional conversation, it's just been chit chat.
Yeah, we had a client under contract here or there and done some work stuff, but we haven't talked in over a month, and that is strange for us.
But what does that tell you? We've had these conversations about Satan just keeping us busy because, kill, steal, and destroy, right? Anything to keep you from doing the things that we need, which is connection and brotherhood. And it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, Kylie and I actually last night rewatched a sermon from Pastor Doug about, he called it the Stage 5 clinger. And it was about us clinging to our phones. But a lot of it, what he talked about was Satan using distractions to keep you from getting deep in life. And the cell phone is the ultimate distraction. Yeah. Because you doom scroll for 3 hours and then pop out of it and be like, what just happened? But just life in general and just being busy keeps you from this kind of thing, from important conversations, from important people in your life, from expanding on the D in Ford and not focusing on your dreams. It just becomes very surface level. And that's not good for your walk with God, your walk with your wife, your walk with your kids. Surface level to me sucks. It's mundane and it's not good for your heart or your head.
Yeah, I think that there are literally marriages out there that are being destroyed because of what you just said, the scrolling. I mean, I'll sit there sometimes and I'll catch myself jumping on my phone and I'll look over and let's just say Riley's down hanging out. She's sitting there on her phone. Rachel's on her phone. And I'm like, here's 3 people that love each other, spending time together. And we're just sitting there on our phones. And, I'll look up and have one of those moments where it's like, guys, let's shelve these things for a second.
Amen.
Right. But I'm guilty of it too. It's not like, hey, I'm looking at them going, hey, shame on you. It's, I'm doing the same thing. So
not to defend doing that at all. But I think the marriages that get destroyed by phones are the marriages where people are doom scrolling, but especially if they're doom scrolling the wrong thing. Like if I'm doom scrolling, I'm looking at golf videos or football or other good podcasts or, positive things, testimonials, stuff like that. And so just getting on Red Rock's Instagram page and swiping through it at least is putting good into you. But if you're the person who's doom scrolling while your wife is on the couch and you're looking at Instagram models in bikinis and lingerie, literally while your wife is 2 feet away from you, you've got some problems you need to get right with for sure. And that'll destroy a marriage right quick.
I wonder how many people actually do that. Thank God for me.
I would say so many.
Like I can even look at my wife's phone, and I think because she looks at fit girls and whatnot to whatever, stay motivated and all this. I mean, the stuff that pops up on her phone, if I was looking at it, I know she would be offended. But thank God for me, most of the stuff that pops up on my phone is kind of like what you said. It's either golf stuff or Charlie, whatever his name is. I mean, just
Charlie Kirk.
There's political stuff. It's whatever I talk about all day when I'm on the phone all day. It usually is what's popping up on mine. And thank God it's not
They're trying to sell me a new driver. That's what 90% of it is. They're trying to get me to spend money. That is not a defense at all. After watching it last night, Kylie was like shaken, like really down to her core, because it talked a lot about, he's terrified that his kids are going to think of dad as this. And we have something that our parents never had to deal with or overcome. Sure, there were distractions when our parents
the distraction
were
was a black and
raising
white
us.
TV.
Right.
But
it's different now. And so that really hit home, being distracted. And I made a conscious decision. I didn't even tell Kylie about it. My phone is off at 9:00. Period. End of story. It's off, and I'm charging it in the kitchen. It's no longer welcome in my bedroom. I am not going to lay in bed scrolling. I am not going to wake up and immediately check my phone, because he said something like 88% of people check their phone within 5 minutes of being away. I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah. So that's kind of a tactic, I would say, if you're struggling with that. I mean, I've gotten to where at night, usually mine's starting to die anyway at night, and I don't even really have a time. It just 7:30, 8:00, usually at the latest. I just go stick it on my nightstand on the charger, and we're usually hanging out in here. And so it's just not even there.
Good.
And I don't even care.
I'm going to start doing that a lot.
And the crazy thing is I'll go to bed and just peek at it, and I'll see that I've had 4 or 5 missed calls, usually work calls that are after 7:30, 8:00 at night. And I'm just like, well,
unless I'm actively negotiating a contract or doing something, I'm turning my business off at 8 from now on.
Yeah.
Actually, probably earlier than that. I'll probably aim for 7 so that I can have like an hour and a half with my kids, uninterrupted no matter what, and then time with my wife uninterrupted no matter what.
Yeah.
Now, there are times in a real estate agent's life where sometimes I have to make that phone call late at night, but I'm going to make a real effort to not do that. Kylie and I just went out to Vegas for our 10-year anniversary. While we were out there in Vegas, which isn't the greatest place to go in the world if you're not a disciplined person, right? So, Kylie and I spent a lot of time at the pool together, ate some good food, and that's it. We're not the types to be going out to strip clubs in the middle of the night. That's not us. But the reason it ties into what we were just talking about is when we got back, I really realized the whole time we were out there, our phones were distant memories. We were so focused on each other and what we were doing and having fun. And it genuinely is outside of, long cruises and stuff like that. It's the best short trip we have ever been on. And it did so much for my mental health, for the health of our marriage. We just had such a beautiful time together and made incredible memories together that it really refueled the marriage tank. So don't let phones distract
how important is that? I mean, when you think about it, when you take out the distraction, you just take that phone away, and now you're forced to just be present with each other. I think in most cases you're going to realize, and things are going to, surface that are going to be like, man, this is why I married this person.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and this is who I get to spend the rest of my life with, right? And I mean, I feel like when you get rid of just all the BS on the phones, that because it is, man, when you think about the distraction, we just talked about it, usually it's social. So whether it's TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, you're looking at the envy trap can kick in, right? And so instead of being present and being grateful and just enjoying that connection, that intimacy, that time with your person, you're too busy looking at what everybody else is doing.
Right.
And then comparing, like, we're in Vegas, but damn, they're in Paris, whatever it is, right?
Well, for me, it's Scotty Scheffler's short game, but
I get that. Trust me.
Yeah. Kylie and I had an amazing vacation. I just celebrated my 10-year. You just hit your 2-year.
August 4th.
Happy anniversary. And happy 39th birthday.
Yeah, 39, 49, whatever. 69, depends on what day. Dude, it's been a ride, man. When you look at our 5 years together and our 2 years of marriage, I mean, we've had the highs, the lows, and everything else. But the beauty in Rachel and I is we do make intentional time for each other. We're smart enough in our faults to catch things, right? and fix them. You know, again, phones, whatever it is, distractions. And she's honest enough with me to talk to me about it instead of like letting it fester up. I'm honest enough to do the same. And so whatever we have, you know, I know it's only been 2 years, so it's kind of hard to gauge. It's, you know, definitely doesn't compare to 10 years, but I feel like that if we keep going down now, that it'll just keep getting better and better and better and better. Right. So yeah, man, it's been awesome, dude. I had a great birthday. You know, it's one of those things that I've been struggling with lately, you know, personally myself is, you know, I have a brand, God and Growth, right? It literally to my core is everything that I care about is being a good disciple for God and growth. And growth doesn't just mean me growing. It means me continuing to grow, my kids continuing to grow, my friends continuing to grow, impacting, making a difference, doing anything that I can do to make a difference in somebody else's life out there that maybe I don't even know. And then whether it's this, the podcast, whether it's my stupid hump day videos on Wednesday, whatever it is, I just want to make a difference. And one of the things that I've probably struggled with the most lately is I went through this stage of, am I really making a difference? Is any of it doing anything? Man, I would get people would comment and, gee, man, I love this message. Thank you, whatever. And I've just gone through this stage of time where it doesn't matter what I put out there or whatnot, whether it's content around mortgage, around real estate, around growth and personal, whatever it is. It's just one of those things where I just feel like no matter what I put out there, I get nothing back really lately. So you start to, you know, Satan starts to get in your head, right? Like, hey, man, why are you even doing that? Nobody cares. Nobody's listening. You're not making a difference. Well, you should just stop, whatever. I mean, just go focus on other stuff. And
start getting imposter syndrome a little bit.
Yeah. You know,
should I even be doing this? What does it matter?
Yeah. And I've been struggling with that lately, dude. And then I have to correct myself and have those conversations with myself. That's like, dude, I mean, from the beginning of this, you used to tell Rachel, like, when I put out a reel or a story or whatever, I don't care if one person likes it. When I say that, I do care. I'm not doing it for the likes and the shares and all that. As long as I can feel like if 1 out of 10, somebody got something from it and it impacted somebody's life in just that little bit of way or a little bitty way or whatever. One of those things where to me, it's worth it.
Absolutely.
And
well, that's what we said when we started
I've been dealing
this.
with that. Like you and I talked about it the other day. And that's when I said, let's shelve it and let's just talk about real talk. Like I really struggle with internally with the fact that I feel like I have to be making a difference. And even though I might be making a difference, if I don't feel like I'm making a difference, then I know Satan's sitting there just going, yeah, man, you're not. Like he's just in my head, right? And so that's one of the things that I've been probably dealing with the most.
Let me ask you something. I know that you're a perfectionist and an extraordinarily hard worker, and you do want to have an impact on everybody all the time. It's a gift from God. I genuinely believe that he put that in you. Over the last, say, 60 days, content's been down a little bit for both of us. Podcast has definitely taken a little bit of a back seat. Tell me about the impact that you've actually made on those right in front of you. Your kids, your wife.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's where I was going with this was my birthday was Monday, right? And the amount of birthday wishes that I got blew my mind.
You're a very loved man.
I feel very undeserving half the time, but I mean, it was crazy. Like I got to do a video today thanking everybody for taking the 2 seconds out of their day to say, hey, happy birthday. But the reality between, you know, Instagram, Facebook, my kids, all the text messages, everything. I mean, it was mind blowing for me. And so it was one of those things that Monday was one of those days that, you know, it filled my tank and it probably filled my tank enough to last me for a few months, really, to know that if somebody's going to take the 5 seconds to 20 seconds out of their day, as we all are busy and blessed, you know, to say happy birthday or whatever, then I must mean something, right, to them in some way, whatever that is. So yeah, dude, it felt good. I mean, it really did. You know, I mean, my love language is physical touch and words of affirmation. So I don't need people to tell me how good I'm doing or great I'm doing or whatever, but just the acknowledgement of, hey, dude, it's your birthday and it's your anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. It meant a lot.
So clearly you're making an impact on a tremendous amount of people.
I hope so.
You are. I'm telling you, you are. Don't hope so. I'm telling you, you are. And one of the problems with social media, especially when we started doing this that I ran into, when we started, we didn't get a lot of likes and the channel wasn't really growing really fast, right? But then I would run into people that hadn't subscribed, hadn't liked anything. So, you know, I didn't give it a second thought of whether they'd seen it or not. And they would tell me about it.
Right.
That happened often. Like there was a string there where I think 1 week, 10 different people commented about it, but I'd never seen that they had liked or commented commented on anything. So clearly people still see what you do. Whether they like or comment on it's a different story. But trust me, there's plenty of people that probably 10x whatever you see is reacted to. People are still seeing it. And with the content that you put out, I know that they're having a reaction to it, whether it be mortgages or growth content or God content or burn the ships or whatever. Don't let that in there, because I was struggling with that a lot too, especially probably right before Kylie and I went on our trip at the end of July. It's been hard for me this summer to really get any structure, get any traction, get any movement on anything. I'm really started to beat myself up over it.
The longer you shame yourself.
Oh, yeah. Shame yourself. Oh, so much. Being the man, being the provider of the house, and not being able to go to my office and focus on tasks. But Kylie brought me back to it. She's like, how many memories did you make with your sons this year?
Yeah.
How many more summers do you get with them? And it's true, because I mean, you look at it, and Landon's 8 to 18, I'd say a decade, but in real life, you know this because you have older kids. When they start to drive, or even a couple of years before that, so maybe 14 is when you kind of stop getting those real
they
tight
want to hang out with friends. They want to do other things.
So I got maybe six of these left. I'm already over halfway with Landon, and I
think with your boys, you'll see that, I think the older they get, the more they'll cling to you, especially when you start doing things together, like golf and things like that. But yeah, dude, you're going to blink your eyes and he's going to be 18 years old, bro.
So she was like, you know what? Yeah, the last 2 months, you haven't been as consistent in business or podcasts as you were. 'Cause I felt like I was rocking Q1. I had this project I was working on, that project, and they were all moving in the right direction. And then kids got out of school, and it was like, we had so many trips, and have all been amazing. Camping trips, and took the kids to Arizona for their birthdays, and this trip to Vegas with Kylie. I'm not going to go into my grave wishing that I had sent out more property valuation packets, or I'm not going to go into my grave wishing I would have held more open houses or whatever. But I can promise you, if I don't spend time with my kids and make more memories, I will go into my grave regretting that.
Yeah.
And that's what Kylie said that. And it was snapped me right out of it, where it was like, okay, yeah, the last 2 months, I haven't been myself when it comes to business. And I've beaten myself up a lot about that internally. And it just got to the point where I had to talk to Kylie about it because I was so down about it. And she immediately brought me out of it.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been beating the crap out of myself because
men do that.
I feel like my life this summer has just been extraordinarily messy. And I say messy because
you're a time blocker.
Dude, I live and die by my calendar, and I haven't even looked at my calendar. My closings are about the only thing that I know that are coming up in my calendar. It's just been messy, bro. And so for me, that's the big thing for me. And then I shame myself, or I look at all the little, like I've always talked to people, like, you want to build your confidence, small kept promises to yourself. Well, I've done the exact opposite this entire summer. I literally set my alarm every single night for 4:30 in the morning saying you're going to the gym at 5 in the morning. And I snooze it and turn it off. And then by 6 o'clock, I'm waking up and I'm literally already shaming myself first thing. Why didn't you get up at 4:30? Well, did I really need to get up and be there at 5 o'clock? I don't have my kids this week. Is there a purpose? It's not like I'm going to come home at 6:30 and start making phone calls. Nobody else in the world's up. So, I just got to figure out that schedule again. It's one of those things, like if somebody wants to go, if they're listening to this and they're going, damn, I'm dealing with that too. And, what is the solution for that? I do feel like what you said about giving yourself some grace on your time and the memories that you formed with your kids. But I also feel like I can give myself a certain amount of grace, but I also got to get back on my schedule and my calendar, because I feel like I can be doing more. I can be affecting more lives. I can be doing more good if I have a tight schedule and I'm intentional with everything I do. I mean, I could damn near take off Fridays this whole summer and just spend every Friday with my boy playing golf or doing whatever, if I was super intentional and tight with my calendar from 8 in the morning on Monday through Thursday. Does that make sense?
Of course.
So we can give ourselves so much grace, and I can give myself so much grace. And I'm saying this to you because I appreciate the fact that you create these memories and you're hanging out with your boys and you're doing this and that. But I'm also that guy that is your big brother that's going to say, we need to get our calendars back dialed in, because I feel like we can still do that stuff, but still get the work in, the intentional the prospecting, the other things that we need to do to survive and take care of our families, right?
Right. It was a spectacular summer, but I am very happy that summer is coming to a close.
Yeah.
The kids going back to school is huge for me, and being able to focus on my business and my prospecting and my to-do list. I love them dearly, and
content,
they gotta
and
go.
reels, and all the stuff that we need to do. Like your reel you just did on the growth and on
the Zebulon Complex in Douglas County.
Yeah.
By Sterling Ranch.
Yeah.
Huge sports complex.
And dude,
going in
when
there.
I saw that, I was like, bro, this is awesome. You need to be doing more of that stuff, right? And the only way that stuff happens, let's be honest with you and me both, and most people that do watch this, the only way that stuff happens is to have block time in your calendar that you say, it's 2:00. I'm doing reels from 2 to 4.
Yep.
And here's my content. And you're prepared. I've felt so messy. And then, like I said, man, I have beat myself up. So I think internally, the tactic for me is, dude, you got to turn it around.
Yeah, it's definitely a scale, right? You got to balance it. You do have to give yourself grace because none of us are perfect. And I can look in the mirror and not say, well, I let this summer slip away because I was getting drunk at the beach.
Right.
No, I was intentional with my sons and my wife. And I think it did a tremendous amount of good for my marriage, for memories with my sons. Landon's getting into baseball and golf. Carter's doing football, and I'm coaching him this fall again. And that's so much freaking fun. And, we've been in the backyard playing catch and working on batting swings and taking Landon to the driving range. And I've been doing all these things that are wonderful things. But at the same time, you're right. I do have to have accountability. So you have to have a little bit of grace and a little bit of accountability. Yeah. What you can't do is go completely on the grace side and throw your hands up and be like, wow, it's fine.
I'm just F off all summer, right?
Which you and I won't do because it's not in our bones. It is in a lot of people's.
But there are people.
Oh, there's. I would say there's more people on that side who are comfortable with doing nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is what it is. You and I are on the opposite side where internally and silently, more importantly, we beat the shit out of ourselves, especially men specifically, I think, who are entrepreneurs or business owners. If they're not all go all the time, we beat the crap out of ourselves. And
because we know that's what it takes.
Really bad thoughts about ourselves, and the world's already going to talk crap about you. The worst thing you can do is help it.
Yeah.
So, number one, you and I hadn't been talking.
Right.
And had either one of us been talking to each other, we could have gotten some of this out, but we weren't.
Shame.
And we were both busy.
Shame.
Yep.
Shame on both of us.
It's just that we as men and providers and entrepreneurs internalize it, and it just becomes this cancer inside of you. And you start thinking really bad thoughts about yourself. So you can't go all the way to, I need to get off my ass. I got to get this done. I got to do these things. You do have to have a good balance. I would say a little bit more of that, but you got to give yourself grace too.
I agree with that. This is going to be the G side of things. I agree with that a lot, but I also know for a fact that, which is basically both of our business, right? I mean, we're not getting salaries. So you have to do everything differently than what 99% of the people out there are doing. All those people that are okay with that and they give themselves constant grace and are okay with messy lives and no schedule and doing whatever it takes to just be okay, to get by. That's not us.
Just enough to not get fired.
Yeah, that's just not us. And so...
Yeah, we don't have a time clock to punch. We have to set our own time clock.
No. And so that's why, again, I look at guys that I know personally, like Ben, that have very, very tight schedule. But the one thing that I will say about Ben is in that schedule is family time, is vacation time, is all those things. And it's allowed him to be so intentional with everything. Like when Ben comes out here and, came out here, I don't know, I think it was last week, and he golfed with me one day. He had some business in Winter Park. He's doing a huge development out there, like a $300 million development in Winter Park. But, he showed me his itinerary. And literally everything is blocked out. I mean, from drive to the airport, flight, layover, just everything. Golf with Garrett in his thing. But the one thing that I can say about that when we are back on that track and we're living by our calendars and honoring our calendar is when Ben blocked out golf with Garrett, that blocked out time, I guarantee you, just because I was with him, he didn't think about anything else. He wasn't thinking about his trip to Winter Park. He wasn't thinking about the development. He wasn't thinking about stuff back in Nashville. Dude, he was literally like, this is golf time with Garrett. And he was present with me and we had fun. And I do feel that when you are busy and you know you have to do more than the norm, the more structured you are in that, it allows you to be intentional in whatever it is you're doing. He didn't look at his phone one time.
Wow.
I mean, I noticed this, right?
That's awesome.
You know, I'm sitting there looking at my phone. I got texts coming in, phone calls, all this stuff. Ben's phone's in the glove box of the golf cart and we're listening to music and he's just having fun, smile on his face the whole time.
That's awesome.
You find people like that have more in more areas than you do. And those are the people that I want to emulate, right? I mean, those are the people that I want to learn from. And, you know, I definitely know when we leave here today, we're going to go play golf. And I promise you, I will be looking at my phone and stuff because it's Wednesday. You know, again, down the road, I would love to be at that point where it's like, yeah, it's Wednesday and it's a work day, but I've been so intentional Monday, Tuesday, and my calendar is so dialed in on Thursday and Friday that if I'm blocking out 2 hours for our podcast and then 2 or 3 hours for golf after that, guess what? It is what it is.
That's what you're doing. Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. I'm not a brain surgeon. Nobody's going to die if I don't answer my phone. Right. You know, I want to get to that again because I used to be like that. I don't know if I was ever totally where I would just completely unplug when I needed to.
And we're both intentional people.
Yeah.
When we're talking to people, we actually actively listen. We take part in the conversation. It's not like, just so everybody knows, it's not like when we go play golf, Garrett's over there on his phone like, meh.
Yeah.
But also just random chopping it up that men don't get to do very much. But if you glance at your phone, I'm not going to be offended by it. But I do completely understand where I love it.
You know, I guess we always have something to thrive for, right? You know, but when I look at, you know, I don't get a lot of time. So if we're, you know, kicking back to family, like my daughter's 16. I don't get a ton of time with her. You know, she's driving now, so she's got that freedom. And once they get that freedom, dude, you know, you're lucky if you see them at all. You know, I need to block out more intentional time with her. Like, hey, let's just go get a coffee, you know, and just do that type of stuff. But the only way that happens, that doesn't happen and you still have a thriving business. Everything is just fly by the seat of your pants. Oh, you want to go get coffee? Let's go. You know, it just doesn't work that way. I don't feel like life works that way. And I feel like you and I both, and I feel like anybody out there that if you're watching this and you are eat what you kill and, you know, all 100% commission or entrepreneur or whatever, we all know that there's the sacrifices that you got to make to be successful in those. I think that you sacrifice less if you have your schedule and your structure super dialed in.
Right. I agree with you. And Dane and I have talked about where we currently are in life. We both have struggled this summer compared to what we've done in the past. Right. Both of our numbers are down. Both conscious in the fact that we are at a point in our lives where he has boys too, same age as mine.
Yeah.
We're seeing some of our competitors, some of our friends across the United States who are in real estate, who are absolutely smashing it still. They're dealing with a tough market, just like we're dealing with a tough market. But I do believe the kicker is the kids. I'm not blaming my kids for a pullback at all. I understand where I am in life right now. 38. I've already set up a really good business, good savings, good house, almost paid off mortgage, et cetera, et cetera. But I know that I'm not going to get this time when they're this age ever again. I'm going to have a lot of years when they're gone.
Yep.
And I'm only about 5 years away from Landon having that freedom. 6, I guess. I know that there's such limited time already. I've already gone through 8 years with Landon. Best case, I have 8 years left. I'm halfway to him having the freedom that all of your, well, I guess Bo T is not quite there. The freedom that 2 of your 3 of your kids have. If I do a little bit less financially today, I know I'm going to crush my career.
Yeah.
I know it because I'm that driven. I'm that passionate. I love what I do that much. And I think I am pretty damn good at it.
You're great at it.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm okay with maybe making, 4 or 5 less transactions here, 2 or 3 less this year. If it means I get to coach Carter's football, if it means that I literally never missed a single jiu-jitsu practice for Landon, taking them on trips and showing them the world. That's, again, I'm a really, really big make memories guy.
Yeah.
When it comes to gifts from my family, I don't need anything. My wife did buy me these boots for our anniversary.
Yeah.
So I love you, Kylie. That was
so
a wonderful gift.
In on those boots. I mean, those things are.
If I'm making a little bit, now I'm not. Again, I'm not giving myself 100% grace to just completely give up, because they are the reason I get up in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff
But
you're talking about.
I understand.
Jiu-jitsu classes, vacations, all that stuff costs money. So you gotta
Right.
provide. I mean, or you're not doing that either, right?
Right.
So,
I've kind of let go on judging myself to my peers, especially my peers who aren't in the same stage of life that I am. Because we got a buddy in California who is probably already clipped $1 million this year. I have somebody in my office she's easily going to make $1 million this year. Her kids are all in college. The kid in California has no kids, and I'm okay with slight backseat if it means I get to have the memories and being a present father in their life while they're at this stage. This to me is the funnest, best. Like, my kids are finally at the age where they're doing football and they're doing baseball and they're playing golf.
Yeah.
And it gives me butterflies and gets me super excited.
Yeah.
And I love playing catch in the backyard. So if for a couple, it's all right.
I think, there's that little bit of a balance that we just talked about.
Yes.
I think for me right now, like I said,
But I do need the calendar, and
messy.
I do need G
It's messy.
to straighten me out.
Yes.
Yep.
Like, because you can still do that stuff, right?
Yep.
But you can still do that stuff and honor a schedule. Put 2 hours of uninterrupted, super intentional green time.
Yep.
Where all you're doing is calling past clients.
Yep.
Or, I need to do this one thing. I'm going to set aside 2 hours. I'm not doing anything. It's super intentional. No distractions, phone, email, all that. Just, whatever it is, and do those things.
Yeah.
Because for me personally, when I'm hanging out with Bo or playing golf with you or whatever, I feel better about it because I've already done what I know needed to get done.
That's
right?
a huge point.
Yeah. And so, but, talking about, when you make these comments about people slaying it in our business right now, if you know their numbers and you know what commissions they're negotiating and you've seen their P&Ls, I mean, it's easy to say, yes, that person's slaying it. But dude, I'm going to tell you right now, man, there's so many frauds out there. I see, and this isn't me just shaming other people because that's not my personality at all. But I will say that I am tired of seeing people that I know personally, and I can look up anybody's numbers on the real estate side or the mortgage side for that matter. There's all these people out there. Well, I don't say all, but there's a handful that I know personally that are blinging out in their Rolexes and their Armani suits, and they're talking about, hey, you want to learn how to make $1 million a year? I'd love to help you, this and that, and dude, I look at their numbers and I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like there is, I guess my point in this is, if at all you see these people and you are envious, question it. And before you go, man, this dude's killing it, I want to be like him, I need to reach out, do some research. I heard Andy say it the other day. There's so many life coaches out there, business coaches and everything else that haven't done crap. Crazy what social media does. And I guess what everybody wants to pretend that they are versus what's really
Just
going
being
on.
real.
Yeah, just being real, being authentic. I mean, I'll tell anybody. People ask me, dude, how's business? Sucks. I mean, it's good enough I can pay my bills. I live in a beautiful home. I've got a beautiful wife. We're all healthy. I get to go play golf. I mean, it could be a lot worse, a ton worse. Is it great? Am I killing it? And I can say, because that holds myself accountable. If somebody says, why not? I'm not going to blame it on the market, because I know there are guys out there, because I see like our numbers just within our bank. I mean, there's dudes that are closing 20 loans a month at Sunflower Bank. I can't say it's the market. I can say it's probably my efforts, probably the fact that my life is super messy right now, and honoring my calendar. There's a lot of different reasons. But at the end of the day, if you are one of those people and you do happen to watch this and you're one of those people out there trying to be something that you're not, stop.
Yeah.
Just be you.
Right.
Be authentic to who you are. Stop trying to be
something you're not.
It's just,
and quit lying about it on social media just to get likes.
Yeah. And dude, and it's crazy to me, like, all the people that are slaying it. Again, I look at numbers every day. Half those people that say they're slaying it, you look at their numbers and it's like, you're not. But keep telling yourself that, I guess.
Right.
So just so you guys know, I'm an average golfer. I mean, my handicap's been double digits, 10 to 12 for the last...
I thought you were like a 6'8", 7".
I was 10 to 12 for like the last few years after my knee. And this summer, I've consistently been right around an 8.
Okay.
And I dropped down to a 7 at one point and then back up to an 8. But an 8's probably where I need to be. But it's been fun. It's fun. It's fun playing good golf.
I was going to ask you how your knee's feeling now that it's been 7 months.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So recreationally, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm not as fit as I want to be. I'm not keeping those small promises to myself. I've recently, in the last 2 weeks, tried to work out at least 6 days a week, but I'm getting them in whenever. And so I got to get back on that morning schedule because that's when my life is just good. There's no excuses. I get my workout done. I'm finished by 7 o'clock at the latest in the morning. And then the rest of my day is just grind time, right?
That's a hard balance to find.
But like today,
waking up that early because at least for Kylie and I, because again, the kids, we want to, when they get down, we want to spend some intentional time together. We don't want to put them down and then go to sleep at 9 or 8:30. So we do find ourselves staying up till 10:30, 11, then waking up at 4. I'm a big guy. I need to get some shut eye. I need a solid 6.5 to 7 to even function. That you have the ability. I'm not even going to try to tackle that monkey.
But I haven't been. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. That's why I've been beating myself up about. Because I mean, I probably went, I would say, most of my life getting up at 4:30 and working out at 5.
That's amazing.
Most of my life, back even before the mortgage business, when I was a trainer, my clients started at 5 a.m. when the gym would open.
Because you had to be there for them.
Yeah. And so, it's just always been part of my deal is to get up, get it in, get it over with, get the endorphins kicked in. And then the rest of my day was just
focus on work. Yeah.
Yeah. But like today, set my alarm 4:30, snoozed it. So I was like, I'll run downstairs and get on the elliptical for 30 minutes. Then I ended up just getting up and making coffee and hanging out with Rach. And
now this morning I woke up at 6 and I got on my Peloton. So
you see, I didn't.
The 4:30.
I didn't. Yeah.
But if I'm up at 6, do a little bit of work, get on the Peloton, hang out with my kids till they go to school, and then I go to the gym for 1 hour, really focus really hard. Still in my office by 9 o'clock, still working hard then. And it should probably be a little bit earlier, but it's the same thing as you. 4:30 and me don't go together. I'm not in the Marines. It is what it is.
Yeah. So when the kids go back to school, I gotta get back on that.
I have been hitting the gym really, really well lately. I've been hitting the Peloton really, really well. So I definitely let that go for the summer. I feel really really strong. My cardio sucks. No, but it's coming back. It's coming back. Definitely feels strong. You got to get that. That's one of those things where I feel like, it feels good to be strong and to feel you fill out your shirts and whatnot. But I don't know, man. For me personally, there is something about the cardio. When I feel like my motor can run for a while, just much better. I hate cardio though. I know. Most people do. I hate it. If I had a choice to either work out or do the stairs, I'd do the stairs. Would you? Oh yeah. Genuinely? Oh yeah. Good for you. Yeah. Like if I only have 30 or 40 minutes, I'll usually just do cardio. Yeah. Yeah. Nope. I'm doing a quick lift. That's where I get my endorphins from. Pick up heavy stuff and put it back down for fun. Yeah, I know. All right, let's talk about dreams. Do more of that. You want to hit? Well, right now, my dream is honestly schedule blocking. Sounds really nice. But is that a dream? Yeah, honestly. Okay. I've always worked hard. I've always been focused, but I've never time blocked like you have. I think I've resisted it because of how restrictive it might feel. And I feel like I have to be more fluid. But the way that you just described it to me, it sounds freeing, especially the family time, the workout time, having it blocked and everything else blocked so that you are so focused during that time that it's just more efficient and feel like you can be 100% in on everything you're doing. That sounds really nice. Moving to the Pinery with you guys and dreams of owning real estate all over the world. Yeah. But just a short-term dream, over the next 30 days, I'm really going to focus on figuring out time blocking. Let's hold each other accountable to that. Okay. Because I'm really good at it. I'm really good at the structure piece and helping you on what to do and how to do it and how to organize it and all that. But like I said, I've sucked at it this entire summer as far as sticking to it and honoring it. I just know when you honor your calendar, it's like you're honoring your time. It is freeing, dude. It gives you the capacity, I think, to do more because you're less distracted when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing in that time. And I just know me and with the ADD and everything that I've got going on and the fact that I feel like Satan is just sitting around eating his popcorn, watching me be distracted lately. I get so much more done. And again, in those times where you're doing something like golfing with a buddy or hanging out with your kid or whatever, you're going to be so much more intentional because you know you've already done the other stuff. You're not sitting there looking at your watch going, oh, I still need to do that thing. Right. Or I was so distracted this morning, I really didn't work, but here I am hanging out with my son. I need to be working. You know what I'm saying? That's the feeling that I've had a lot lately. Yeah, and you get that versus... You might be physically there and you might be there 90% mentally, but Every time I've been playing catch, in the way back of my mind, I'm like, I should be filming a reel right now.
Yeah.
No, I shouldn't. I should be focused on my kids, and I should film the reel later,
dude.
When I blocked it.
It's the most successful, happy, I think joyous people I know have a pretty strict calendar.
I feel like it would relieve a lot of stress. I've always felt like it would stress me the hell out, but it honestly feels like it might relieve a tremendous amount of worry, anxiety, self-sabotage, which we all fall victim to it every once in a while. So yeah, I think as simple and stupid as that may sound, my goal right now is to have a legitimate, really good month of time blocking and being able to look back and see how I feel.
And we're going to do it. I'll make sure, because what it'll do is it'll help me get back dialed in on mine, but it'll help me help you get dialed in on yours. And then, I know we both have some of the same dreams when it comes to this.
Sure.
I feel like we've slacked on Burn the Ships, and, I want to get to 200,000 followers. I want to get to where we feel like every one of these episodes is touching or reaching a few people and making a difference. We'll continue growing this, but the only way that that's going to happen is if we get our calendars dialed in, where the distractions of this, again, this summer's been busy, but it's one of those things where if we had it in the calendar, it was like, no matter what, I'm not going to cancel, you're not going to cancel, whatever. I feel like, we started this for a reason. We've got enough followers now that are subscribers now that we're making a difference in some people's lives. I think God called us to do this, and that's the reason we're doing it, and we got to continue growing it.
Okay. So those are 2 dreams.
Yeah. And, for you to get that handicap down to about a 10.
Amen. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
But yeah, man, this clothing line, things that I want to do, that I know the only way that I'm going to accomplish any of it.
Yeah.
To get things unmessy.
To get things unmessy.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's my dream, right? And it's a simple dream. And the best thing about that dream is we're in complete control of it. We don't need outside circumstances. We don't need the ball to bounce the right way.
Yeah.
It's 100% in our control.
Yeah.
So I think those are the best kind of dreams, when it doesn't matter what the rest of the world is, what's going on. You don't have to worry about rates. You don't have to worry about what the White House is doing, what the Fed is doing.
Yeah.
It's just like a weight loss routine.
Yeah.
The world can be on fire, but what you put in your mouth is your choice. Whether you get up and go to the gym, it's your choice.
For sure.
And this is one of those dreams where it's 100% on us. So
yeah,
let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen, dude.
Hey, we laughed about this before we started, guys, because we're like, we don't know what we're going to do, but it's probably going to feel a little therapeutic. It's going to be a little therapy session. And that's kind of what it was.
Yeah.
My spirits are way up.
Yeah,
I'm smiling more.
No doubt. And I feel more motivated than I've felt in a while to make some change.
Yep.
Right. I think that's a big piece of it. Like lately, I've just been like, you know what? Hey, G, you're not living by your calendar. So what? But I don't realize what it's doing to me deeper in my soul, the shaming, all that stuff. So it's like, it's almost like you're making excuses for yourself, but you're giving yourself some grace, but still it ends up kind of being excuses. And at the end of the day, I know what will make me happier is to get physically fitter, more fit, to honor my schedule, and to be more intentional with stuff like this, where I'm not sitting there thinking, damn, I still got to do this, or I should have done that, or whatever. That when we go play golf, if I get some leads that call or whatever, that is what it is, and great. But I'm not sitting there thinking about during our golf game, like what I should have done, because I either did it or it's in my schedule to do later. Right. So give yourself a little bit of grace, but also hold yourself accountable. That's pretty much where we're at. Yeah.
You got to hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up to the point where you're falling into a deep, dark depression. Give yourself a little bit of both, but get off your ass and get it done.
Don't make the promises to yourself that you pretty much kind of know you're not going to keep, because subconsciously, I think that does more damage than you know as well. So small kept promises. Yeah, guys.
Get after it, guys.
Go out there and slay life.
All right. Take it easy, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this kind of content, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. And we will see you next time on Burn the Ships.